I think it's okay. We can start. I'm in for a big surprise today. Any guess? No. Anybody? Okay, okay, okay. Because usually when I walk into the class will be empty, and slowly after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, somebody will be entering the class. But today I'm surprised. Before time, there were more than 90 students out of 150 of the class, and I'm sure some will have the problem of network, and let us expect that they would be joining. This is one of the surprise. There's another surprise. No guess. See, anybody who want to speak, simply open your mic and speak. Even if 10 at a time, let us manage it later. I want you to start speaking. My second surprise is nobody stopped you from talking to each other in the class. There was absolute silence till I entered the class. Will that be the real situation if it is LT1, LT2, LT3, LT4, 76, 77? Why are you so silent? From next class, that 10 minutes when you join, I will join only after 10:50. What you can do is, I want you to be speaking to yourself. I want you to make noise in the class. Talk to each other. You feel as if you all are there in the same space wherein you can interact with each other.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, actually the Google Classroom code is not found.
Vandana, can you share, or shall I share it? Where shall I share?
Ma'am, I shared, but it's not working. It's showing invalid.
Classroom code, or
In my account, there is account error, and when
wait,
someone
wait,
else
wait.
tries,
Anyway, your classroom code is COTGGQZ.
yes, ma'am.
You tried that?
But it's yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me see that.
Okay.
Okay, you can take time and join, because once you're in the classroom, the link is always there. With the same link, you can enter the class every Thursday, 10:50, 10:40 to 10:50, you can enter the class. But there is only one requirement, that I have to open the class first, then only you can enter. Before me, if you try, it says it's invalid. If you enter and if you feel that the classroom is not open, by chance I forget or I'm delayed, you're welcome to call me and remind me to open the class. So the same link works for the whole semester for you.
Okay, ma'am.
Anytime anybody want to speak anything, you can switch on the mic and tell it to me. You can call me, and then I will stop. The moment somebody calls me, I will stop so that you can speak. And this class is about knowledge and curriculum. This whole course is divided into 4 units. The first unit is about the nature of knowledge. What is knowledge? Second unit is about how knowledge is constructed. What are the different ways by which knowledge is constructed? The third unit talks about the curriculum framework, the syllabus, the textbook. And the fourth unit is about the planning and evaluation of curriculum. And my colleagues have already started interacting with you. The first unit, second unit, and third unit have already been initiated. I will begin with the fourth unit, but in between, if you have any clarification, you can have it. You can note it down and then get it clarified. There's nothing, I think I was looking at the way I'm planning to proceed. There's nothing that you will miss, though each unit is interlinked. Let us see that you will be able to make sense of fourth unit because you have already been introduced into the earlier units. Because this unit, let us go with the debates and discussions about the planning and evaluation of curriculum. At intervals, we ourselves can be the evaluators of curriculum, because one of the ways of evaluation, because when we talk of determinants of curriculum, there are three important things which is there, in the planning stage, there are three things in the syllabus which is given for you. One is the what determines the curriculum. What are those determinants of curriculum? And then is the principles based on what the framing, the curriculum is done. Then the next one is the process.
Ma'am, some
Yeah.
are waiting. They want to be allowed. Means you have to allow them.
I have not restricted entry
Then maybe network issue. Okay,
because
ma'am.
if many are there, you let me know. Because for my class, I have enabled auto entry option. So nobody
Okay.
needs to wait. But anybody, if any of your friends are sending you message that they're not able to
Yes,
enter
ma'am.
the class, you tell me. Probably I have switched on the recording button. That may be one reason. I'm learning. If I have to switch off the recording button so that they can enter, I can do that. If more
Yes,
than
ma'am.
one is sending that message, you let me know. I'll stop recording.
Ma'am, only one is sending now.
Okay, okay. Vandana, wait. If 2, 3 are sending, you stop me and tell I will stop recording.
Okay. Okay, okay, ma'am.
Because in earlier class also I felt, but in another class, though the recording was going on, students were able to enter and exit. Because I know sometimes automatically you get out of the class.
Ma'am, from BA, three students are waiting, ma'am.
Hello, yeah?
Ma'am, from BA, three students are waiting to
Oh,
join.
okay. Abhipsita.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, probably then the recording is stopping them to enter. Let me stop recording now. Let's see, this is again, learning. I have curriculum. Our focus in this knowledge and curriculum paper is the school curriculum. What determines the planning of school curriculum? Any idea? Where does it begin? Who gives
Ma'am,
us the
cognitive,
Mm.
ma'am, the cognitive level of the students, such as class one has different level of class one student has a different level of mental ability in comparison to class 5 or 6.
Okay, okay, okay. One of the factors, very good. We'll discuss this in detail. This is the psychological factor wherein the developmental stage, the cognitive ability of the student at that particular stage, and the interest, the aptitude, all those things, the personal characteristic of the learner is one of the consideration when the curriculum is planned. Any other?
Ma'am, the social needs of the society and the students, that what should they learn to be vocationally enabled.
Very good, very good. Yes, there are sociological perspectives to curriculum development, what the society requires, what are the changes the society has been undergoing. We know society is not um, static, rather it is moving, it is changing, it is progressive. So as per the development movement progressiveness of the society, the curriculum will be changing, and yes, it has to look at the aspirations, as you rightly said, the vocational needs, what is the future. It's not just the past, the learning from the society of the past, what is that is missing in the curriculum, and what is the present need. And we have to be futuristic also. Because the children who are in school today are entering the productive world or the major participants of the society after 10 years. So we have to at least look at 10 to 20 years ahead when we are planning the curriculum. If we don't do it, the curriculum becomes not valid, or it becomes inappropriate as the times progress. Thank you. This is another determinant. Any other? Psychological, sociological, then?
Ma'am, the learning experience of the students
Mm, mm.
for the what will be beneficial for their school curriculum that they will experience in their whole lifetime, in the whole what will hold for their future.
Yes, very good. This is a kind of, a philosophical perspective of curriculum determinant. That is the pragmatic philosophy says whatever which is learned should be beneficial to them, to the present, to lead their life. Whenever it is beneficial to the self, it should also be beneficial to the society, because the curriculum also looks at the national perspective, what the nation requires. So national development, how this curriculum, if it is given to the citizens of future, they will contribute in national development. Any other? Very good. The philosophical perspective, and when we say, one is definitely the pragmatic view, that is the benefit of it, and another one is the natural. Every school of philosophy in education, which you have already studied in basics of education paper, you can simply go through it. All that become the determinant for curriculum development. We look at everything. We follow most of the philosophies and try to build into the curriculum development process so that they are intact and that gets percolated into the, or it gets filtered into the citizens of the future. I'm very happy with your class. Okay, whatever you are coming up with your points. Any more? Anybody?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, use of new technology in curriculum for betterment of student.
Mm, mm, mm. Yes, very good. See, this is technology. If you remember, the 1986 National Policy of Education had mentioned about the use of technology in education. And see, they were so futuristic in their thought. How many of us, how the schools have been able to implement it, and how we have learned from it, and how are we using it is a next question. That debate also we should be having. How much of the intentions of the curriculum is being entering into the system and to the ground. The espoused curriculum and the curriculum in practice. Is there a divide? Is there any gap between what is intended and what is practiced? These are all debatable, and you as teachers who are going to the school soon after this semester, hopefully, because you are supposed to be in schools now, because of the situation, you are not able to go to the school right now. Let us also discuss what are the alternatives. See, that is another determinant of curriculum, of preparing the citizens to the adverse situations. That is a sociological need. We don't know what kind of changes come in the society. So we can't prescribe, if this happens, you do this. Rather, it is preparing them, being prepared to anything. So were you all troubled when there was lockdown and when you had to resort to this online learning? Were you troubled? Yes. Some of you were troubled, some of you were some little bit troubled. Is there anybody who was not at all troubled? We are human beings. Any change we resist. That's a basic quality in us. Internally we resist change because physically, psychologically, emotionally, it takes little time to adjust to the change. But it differs who continues to cry with the change and the one who adapts to the change. That is volunteerism, taking action at the time of need. I want to discuss all these things with you because is it lockdown, no class, no coming to the campus? What are the other ways? One is learning, no doubt. There are so many other effects of this lockdown in the society. Do you raise to the occasion and are you able to do something? You think of all these things. In the next class we can debate. I have some points, questions of debate. Let us raise debate and we'll discuss, which is very relevant to the curriculum development. Anything else? From where does this curriculum development process actually begins? What is the strong base? It is the determinants are the psychological, sociological, philosophical, and even sometimes the political change which is happening, the globalization. All these things also are reflected in the changing curriculum, because curriculum is a process of reconstruction. That is why it is the planning, it goes on. It's not that once the curriculum is prepared and it can continue for a long time. The requirements changes, the society changes, the needs change, the aspirations of people change. So that is why it has to, there is a constant change which is reflected in the curriculum reconstruction. It actually begins like, you have heard of, I'll just link to the national policy, the Education Commission, the national policy, the curriculum framework, all these things, so that you may be in a better position to conceptualize the curriculum development as a holistic process. The decisions taken at the highest level in the country, it's not, easily like what I want, I cannot bring in. There should be a debate, there should be research evidence, there should be evidence from the practice. All this gets debated, discussed, and at the highest level of the country, the constructing education is communicated in the form of education policies. How many education policies of our country you are aware of? Education policy, again, you have to revisit your basics in education notes. I'm hoping the notes is with you. If you have carried it with you while rushing out of the hostel with an unexpected requirement. Okay, I'm not able to get any response. That means maybe you're not aware of. Anybody?
Ma'am, education.
National education policy, national education policy, this previous year, which has been amended, 2019, some amendments has been there. And ma'am, education commissions,
Stuti, one minute. There's somebody else who is interested to talk. I'll just touch upon them and then come back to you if required. Sorry, somebody, Ria, you're having difficulty to hear. By next class, I'm hoping that I'll be using the caller mic and I'll be speaking. Now I'm speaking loudly because my laptop also has little problem with the audio intake. I'll sort it out by the next class. Yuvraj wanted to say something. I think he switched on his mic. Can I go to him?
Yes, ma'am. Education policy 1975, and after that 1980 to 1986 something was there. 2000 and NCF 2005.
Okay.
Thank you.
There were policies. You talked about the policies and frameworks together. We'll just distinguish them slowly in the class, no problem. 75 was the first curriculum framework. You know, when was the first education policy of independent India? Based on which the 75 framework came. Now you know which is the basis for framework. Curriculum framework is a broader concept before the curriculum is developed.
Ma'am, 1964.
64, that's what? Again, that is the Education Commission. 1964-66 is the Education Commission, which is popularly known as Kothari Commission. You are
Yes,
familiar
ma'am.
with
Yes, ma'am.
90. See, there is a link. Let me just give you the link because my laptop is, anyway, there is little time. Somebody is. The 1964-66 Education Commission report was deliberated, discussed in the parliament. When it gets accepted, it comes out as a policy. When the policy comes based on the aspirations, based on the requirement which is communicated in the policy about the future or the present and the future of education, a framework is developed. Based on the framework, curriculum is made and it gets implemented. After the 68 policy, the next policy, somebody has already put it in the chat box. You are very familiar with the 1986 policy. Yuvraj was saying about some of the curriculum frameworks after that. Any of you remember the name of the curriculum framework after the national policy NEP 1986? Okay. 1988, there was a national curriculum framework for school education, 88. And again in 2000, there was a curriculum framework. But the actual intentions or the to realize the recommendations of 1986 policy, there was a committee which is known as Yashpal Committee in 1992-93. Some of you may be familiar with it. Yashpal Committee, if I tell the common name, you may relate more. It's the Learning Without Burden.
Yes, ma'am. In
Yes.
1993.
That see, 86, the policy came. There are very beautiful shifts which has taken place from the earlier policy, from 68 policy to 86 policy. What is that shift? What was the focus of 68 policy? And what is the focus of 86 policy? And Stuti was mentioning about 2019 policy. It is still not being approved in the parliament. It is still called as a draft for NEP in 2019. Last year, it was supposed to be implemented as a policy. We are expecting it anytime. It may become a policy. So after 86, we are getting the policy now. Say 2020. The 2005 curriculum framework has talked of the 86 policy aspirations because in 1992, the program of action came for the 86 policy. And that has mainly talked about, I'm just telling you a very minute shift, but in the classes to come, we will discuss this in more length and detail. see, the first policy was mainly looking at bringing a common system of education, which we are all familiar. You may not be knowing the earlier one, because before the 75 curriculum framework and the 68 policy, or even the 1975, the system of education was not the usual what me and you studied, the 10 plus 10 plus 2 plus 3. That is the common framework of the structure of the school education, which the Education Commission suggested, the policy recommended, and the framework implemented. Then it was mainly towards social transformation and national development. During the 86 policy, it was noticed that quality education was the component which was missing in the system of education. That's what our experience guides us into making the curriculum. There was enormous amount of work which was going on in doing the infrastructure, bringing children to school, so many things. National development was the focus of our country after independence. All this was happening, and 86 policy recognized the need for a shift into quality, and there were several programs also which came in, and some of the research studies are there which observed what are the reasons why quality is suffering in the education system, pointed out to features like lack of infrastructure, lack of innovative pedagogy, teacher competency. So all these things were difficult. See, the problem of the education system will be analyzed, and that will be taken ahead as a reconstruction of curriculum in the days to come. To address these issues, this 93 Yashpal committee was set up, and they gave one of the recommendation which is very famous as to reduce the curriculum load so that quality can be attended to. And if you see the link in 2005 curriculum framework, there is a shift. What is that? When you think of 2005 curriculum framework, what is that which comes to your mind?
Ma'am, it emphasis on the connecting knowledge to life outside the school.
Yes, correct.
And
go ahead.
And also enriching curriculum so that it goes beyond textbook.
I want anybody else. One more response, please.
Ma'am, learner-centered approach.
Learner-centered approach.
And ma'am, reduce constructive approach, ma'am.
Mona Lisa, wait, just a minute, Manisha. Mona Lisa?
Yes. Ma'am, constructive approach.
Yes. The shift which took is that giving the onus of knowledge construction to the learner. The learner is in the central stage of constructing the knowledge through a sociological process of experiences which are created, which are carried by them from home, that is from their previous experience, giving the experience which links the previous experience, and whatever new knowledge which is constructed in the classroom, that has to be having relevance, showing the relevance of knowledge to them in the outside world, to the right present and the future. This is a shift, and by this shift it also talks of the curriculum burden can be reduced, because can you link these two? Burden of curriculum and constructivism and making knowledge relevant. Yes. Even the present 2019 draft also talks about reducing the curriculum to make space for critical thinking, creativity. In the absence of, if the curriculum load is more, the whole focus will become concentrated towards rote learning, because all will think. And another reason is our classrooms are more concentrated towards examination, preparation of student towards examination and achievement. In this run, the load of curriculum becomes a factor that cannot help the student to become critical thinkers, and they cannot it is not only the critical thinker, it likes, it doesn't give them a space for becoming self learners. Constructivism talks of really self learning. We are preparing the learner to be a learner and a perpetual learner, not the content. Through the content, through the subject matter, because that is the knowledge. Through knowledge, we are taking them, it's a journey towards making them experience the joy of learning because of the utility, and making them aware of the process, how I am learning. If I don't know how I am learning, how will I learn something new? So this way, even if the curriculum load is less, I don't have to see, knowledge is everywhere. The curriculum gives a knowledge which is intentionally taken with the purpose to put it in an organized system of school. But learning is not restricted to school. There is no limit to knowledge, and there is no boundary to knowledge also. This is another aspect which has come up in the new policy, where it is called as the curriculum integration. We can discuss this also in detail. What are the shifts that has come, and what is the framework, how the curriculum development takes into consideration all these shifts, and how it plans to bring in the requirement for the future. It is, as I already said, maybe another 4-5 minutes, I'll stop. The decision taken at the highest level of the country for reconstructing education is communicated in the policy, in the form of policy. What does the policy hold actually? The policy holds the vision for the future of the nation and serves as a guiding force. For what? It is a guiding force for the journey. That journey is through the curriculum and through the classroom and teachers and children. That journey is for the future generation of our country. Children who receive education actually, are perceived. Why are we giving them this journey which is much thought of, much planned? Because we perceive, and it is the truth, that they are the leaders of our country tomorrow, and they need to be capable on whose shoulders the country can rest peacefully. See how much of responsibility is there on the future citizens, and this aspiration is bundled in curriculum. And we are coming to our role now. Teachers are given this direct responsibility to engage these vibrant minds in this expedition towards the, you don't know the child's mind, you don't know the future. You are the leader in this expedition. You can think of, when you go to internship, what is that role? What is that responsibility? You can also, let us also think, whether the teacher education curriculum is preparing you for all these things. Where is the lacuna? How do we improve the teacher education curriculum? Also, we can talk about in the process of school education curriculum, because you are the present population who are using this. You are the consumers of this teacher education curriculum of the present. Is it really preparing you for this task to take the children as future leaders of the country? The curriculum is actually, it's the fuel. You are there in the as a leader in the expedition. What gives you the fuel? What gives you the structure? What gives you the push to go ahead in this journey? To bring out the innate potentialities of the youngsters to the forefront, we have curriculum. I think I just wanted to take little opinion from you about how do we go about? Okay, we have another 5 minutes. If you want to say anything, you
Ma'am,
can.
ma'am, actually, all of us have one confusion.
Yes.
Ma'am, can we know what is the college planning about our internship program?
Yeah, I thought we had lots and lots of discussion. We'll take another 2-3 minutes to discuss. It was very much in me. Right now, the schools are not there, and that is why we thought we'll begin with this in course of time. Maybe in another month or two, we will be planning about this. I really think when we think our internship, Abhipshita, the right, the direct answer to your question is right now there is no clear plan, but discussions are going on to do it, like some online simulated teachings. Several options are being discussed to go to a nearby school, but we know nearby schools are also not opening, and we don't know whether the nearby school, even if they open, will they allow you entry. That is the situation now. So these are the possibilities. I want you to come out with options, because of this lockdown and closure of school, I'm not bothered much about the lockdown, but closure of school is bothering me. Closure of school has um, put a stop to the learning process of some children. It is, to be frank, more than 50% of children is learning is put to a halt. Some are learning, the advantaged ones whose parents can help, who have the digital platform, although they are learning. How about the others? Can we think of anything to reduce that gap through our
Um,
intern? Abhiksha?
Actually, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Some of the students were discussing, ma'am. Actually, in secondary level, the students have never met us before, and we think that it won't be that much affectable and that much good for all of us to go directly and teach them through online simulated class.
Yeah. Teaching students, young students through online, especially for you who are not real teachers, but you are in the making of a teacher, for you to prepare, definitely online teaching to secondary student is, you are rightly pointing out, it's not possible at all. We are thinking
Especially, ma'am,
of, yes.
if we take the case of Navodayas, ma'am, then 75 of the students won't be having their own cell phone, ma'am.
No. That option we are not exploring at all. If at all it is online, it is a simulated, just like your skill classes, it will be a simulated teaching where lesson plans are developed and assessed and all those things. Anyway, it's all in infancy. Let me see another month. We may be able to give you some direction to it. It's my personal discussion. As we are staying in our locality, can we take few children around? Some places may not be having much of the spread of corona, and it may not be a containment zone, following all the social distancing norms. Can we try to take some children and start teaching them, so that we can bridge the gap which is growing? The gap is increasing day by day.
Ma'am, actually, because of ma'am, many parents are not allowing, they may not allow us right at the moment because they may be fearing that we may cause some, spread of virus and such problems, ma'am.
No, those parents who are so considerate about their children, you don't have to go also. They'll take care of the learning of their children. There are other children whose parents I have seen, morning they go out, estate laborers, daily wages, they go out. Both parents go out. Children of class 3, class 4, class 5 are left at home. What are the implications of such not attending to that age of children throughout the day for months and months together? Can we do something about it? but we cannot take action. Right now, we are under the control of so many things. The district administration, the school administration, everybody are there, to take care of it. And we have to go very thoughtfully into this journey. If at all we are doing, let us plan at least. Can we do something? Can we organize some activities for those children who are totally out of the school? Okay. Thank you so much. Your time is
Yes,
over.
ma'am. Thank you.
You may be having, maybe in the next class, we'll take another 5 minutes to discuss these issues, because issues are more important than actually the content or the theoretical input which we are giving. Let us continue our discussion in the next class. I'll sort out the issue of recording and admit to the, because I think ultimately we have, yeah, around 90, maximum was 97 in the class. The other student, let me just, let me work it out. And you don't, my attendance is enabled. Your attendance is there. It automatically comes. Okay. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you next Thursday. When you were walking into the class, online class, you don't think you are walking into the class, no? I saw you walking into the class. I felt so happy looking at your photographs. Most of you didn't show your face right now, but it's okay. You all have your photographs. I felt you all are walking in the campus. I felt good. Okay, I will send the link early because it is the same link. There's no new link for your whole semester. There's no new link. Somebody put a message that I need to send the link. I just have to open the classroom 20. I'll open the class at say 10:30. I'll open the class at 10:30. You can inform this to everybody. Okay. You can inform this in your message to your friends to open the, I'll open it at 10:30. You can keep joining. Okay, I'll close the class. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.